Welcome back to Exit Corners. Today we're starting episode 2. But before that, I'll just give a quick summary of what happened last episode.
Quick summary of what happened in episode 1. So, we first woke up and we were introduced to our main character, Ink Greer. And apparently, he had, at the very beginning, a monologue with himself, which I'm assuming may not be significant, but I'm noting it down anyway. He goes to Bellbridge U, and he's an English major, and he's about to graduate, I think. And he likes books and beer, according to himself. And when he woke up, he had a PDA, and that allowed him to contact his only friend, Sean, who also doesn't know what's going on, but also has a PDA, so they could communicate. And then we're introduced to the second character in this hotel. Her name is Eva. We didn't get last name, but I'm hoping we'll find out more. And they're both stuck in a hotel called the Four Elements. And the emblem looks significant somehow, so I'm sure that'll come up later in the story. So Eva is a Bellbridge University freshman. She's majoring in psych, according to her. Her PDA, she says her PDA is like her only contact is her dad, and that she hasn't contacted him, but like she wouldn't tell us for like why she hasn't contacted him, which is kind of sus. So yeah, I don't trust her. And when we later went out and met with the other people, she acted really shy, like she's really like clinging on to ink for whatever reason. I mean, it could be like she may be legitimately like shy, but I don't know. I kind of buy her like her I guess personality so far. Like it seems kind of very unnatural in this situation. She's like very enthusiastic about like solving mysteries, but like we don't even know where we are. Besides that, we're trapped in a hotel. So yeah, she kind of reminds me of like Sayaka from like Danganronpa, and that there's like an ulterior motive somewhere, and that's why like she's acting this way. But like I could be wrong. I could just be reading into this too much. So yeah, so like they met with the other people. So one person is called Ray. Yeah, so he's pretty cool. He's like a freelance programmer who dropped out of Belbridge U because like apparently the school is kind of shady, but like Ink and Ether is like they love their school, so like they don't want to hear about it. So yeah, I think he's my favorite character so far. And then we also met with this other lady called Beth March, and yeah, she's like nice, but she can be stern if like circumstances needs her to be. Um, yeah, and then we have our last character, like our last contestant, Liza. She's kind of distrustful and like paranoid, so like, and she's also rich, so she doesn't really get along with Ray because I guess like classism and stuff. And her PDA has her dad on it, and she already contacted him. And yeah, so like when we all got together, like the touch screen that's like on the wall turned into like had like a face on it, and then it told us that like we had to solve a puzzle to get out. So we did that, and then they all went, and then Ink started bleeding because he stayed in the room for too long. But for whatever reason, Eva was fine, even though they both stayed behind. So I don't know if it's like more effective for him or is there something up with Eva that she's not affected with like staying behind for too long. So yeah, that was summary of episode 1.
Alright, so let's start. Chapter 2 Sense Game. Chapter 2 Sense Game. What happened to me? The same question repeated itself endlessly in Ink's head. It had been less than an hour since Ink had woken up in the Four Elements Hotel. Since then, he had been acquainted with a handful of strangers who, like him, had no idea why they were there. To add to the confusion, Ink's phone had been stolen. In its place was the PDA, which could only contact his friend and colleague, Sean. The one who had woken him up was a girl called Ether. Right now, she was doing her best to keep Ink's blood loss to a minimum after a violent episode of sudden hemorrhaging. Enough. I think it's stopped for good. I mean, for now. Phew. How are you feeling, Dan? I could be worse, considering. Thanks for helping me keep that under control. That kind of bleeding isn't normal, is it? No, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Okay, the music's a bit loud. Say, how do I look? Most of the blood landed on the wall or floor, and we've wiped away what was on your face, so you look okay. Got a bit on your scarf, but you might be able to wash it out. Ink gave his scarf a quick twist, hiding the tiny bloodstains from view. Cool. Don't mention this to anyone, alright? Why not? This could be serious. This seems like the kind of thing that could make people panic, you know. Until we know what's going on, let's keep this on the down low. Do we trust her though? I mean, I guess we do. But I'll worry about my personal health once I made it home. Besides, I feel better now. Don't look at me like that, I'll be fine. What makes you so sure? Do you know something? I'm the detective, remember? You can't kill off the detective before he solves any mysteries. This isn't a story, Ink. Okay, now you're being serious, okay. Life's a kind of story, no? Just promise me you'll go for a checkup when we get back to campus. Deal. Let's get out of here then. It wasn't an act. Ink did feel better. Whatever his affliction was, it had passed. I won't be able to get medical attention until I get out of here anyway. Grabbing Ink by the wrist, Eva dragged him through the one-stop locked double doors at the end of the hall. On the other side was a small lounge. To Ink's surprise, his other new acquaintances were scattered about the room. Quiet and grave, they were keeping to themselves. You guys are still here? Door's locked. Huh? The door over there, opposite from the one you just came through. It wouldn't budge when I tried to open it. It's just like that last room. There aren't any other exits? Do you really think we'd still be here if there was another way out? So what? We're just supposed to wait here? We aren't in a position to do anything else. I don't like this. I want out. I know, dear. Please, have a seat for the time being. Let's try to be patient. Beth lowered her head and grew quiet. Ink slumped into the nearest seat. From here, he had a good view of the wall-mounted screen. So now what? Nobody answered. The others were either fiddling with the devices they had been given or staring at the wall. Ink sighed. Not a real social bunch, are they? Well, whatever. Guess we just wait for that face thing to show up. As if on cue, the monitor sparked to life. Speak of the devil. This message is set to play after a short delay. If any contestants are not present, please retrieve them. Who are you? Why do you look like that? Please note that this message is a recording and will only play once. It is advisable that you pay attention. Hello, contestants. Long time no see. That was a joke, of course. I saw you but moments ago. Oh ho ho. I already hate this guy. Please sit down. Make yourselves comfortable. Relax. I'm sure you all have questions for me. I ask you to be patient. By the end of my little speech, I imagine that at least a few of your concerns will have been addressed. Let me start by confirming that yes, you have been abducted, and yes, I am the one responsible. Sorry about that. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Sent. Okay. I'll be as brief as I can. I have brought you here today so that you may play a game. A game of my own design. The name of my game is Exit Corners. Okay, title drop. Cool. The rules are simple. I have placed you in the heart of the lovely Four Elements Hotel. As Game Master, I will do my best to keep you there. If you manage to exit the hotel, you win. If your heart stops beating, you lose. Wait, what? And that's all there is to it. Not so difficult to understand, Allow me to be clear. In this game, you must put yourself first. Your victory or defeat is not tied to that of any other contestant. I have made some alterations to the 4 elemental tale to allow for a more pleasant gaming experience. One such amelioration is the inclusion of 16 pounds of industrial grade Semtex at this building's foundation. Okay. In 24 hours, the aforementioned explosives will detonate. This will cause the entire structure to collapse. In the event you are still in the building at the time of collapse, you will most likely be crushed and killed, resulting in a loss. Pardon the negativity. But please, do not misunderstand me. I want you to escape through the exit. I most certainly do. That's why I've given you all a Gemini, to give you a fighting chance. Each of you have been entrusted with an electronic device that I've dubbed Gemini. I assume you are already aware of this fact. Why Gemini, you ask? Each Gemini has a twin. Gemini may only send and receive messages from their twin. The other halves of your Gemini have been left in the care of someone you know. These people will be referred to as your contacts. Right now, as far as any of you are concerned, your contact is the most important person in the world. While your contacts may be different, they're all equally important. I guarantee you'll need their help to achieve victory today, so try your best to get along with them. Poor communication kills, you know? I suppose I've rambled on long enough, haven't I? I'll leave you all alone then. The next puzzle will be available in just a moment. I've got a myriad of challenges lined up for today. I'm rather fond of puzzles, as you can see. Hopefully my fondness is contagious. Adieu, contestants, and good luck. The screen went blank. Ink had endless questions for Sent, but it was clear that he wasn't coming back. What? Ink rose to his feet, shaking. 1,000 thoughts raced through his head. What was the purpose of exit corners? Who was Sent? Was it just bad luck that Ink wound up as a contestant? Or was he specifically targeted? Is that guy for real? Do you might as well have a curly villain mustache? It would be difficult to twirl with no hands, I think. Good point. I'm glad to see you're at least taking the news well. It all feels kinda surreal, you know. I mean, did someone just tell me I was going to die? Like, actually? Aren't you scared at all? I mean, you were bleeding, so I'm more confused than anything. But yeah, of course I'm scared. I think we're all a bit scared, dear. The first step to overcoming fear is to understand it. Is that something they told you in your program? No, I sort of just made that up. Still, seems like a useful bit of advice right now, don't you think? Maybe we should take some time to make sure we're all on the same page. Good idea. Let's go over what we know. Liza? Ray? Are you both paying attention? This is important. Yeah, I'm listening. Don't mind me. Ray, who had been leaning on the wall in silence, rejoined the others. Just as he opened his mouth, a familiar voice emanated from the terminal, the puzzle. The contestants all turned to face it. It's another puzzle. I guess it was set to initialize shortly after the message finished playing. Before we get to that, I think we should still do a short recap. Right, where should we start? Sent. Is that why you were so deep in thought back there? Yeah, who is he exactly? He's a big old question mark for me. I can't figure him out. If he's the one that brought us here, and if none of us remember anything from before this morning, that makes him the only one who really knows what's going on right now. What's his motive? How was I abducted? Is all this really necessary? Why did he choose me? Why did he choose any of us? That's what concerns me the most. Your guess is as good as mine. Although, if we can determine how or why we were chosen, we might be able to figure out who he is. What do you mean by that? If he kidnapped us at random, then Sen is probably just some kind of maniac, right? But if he chose us specifically, then he must know us to some degree. He hasn't addressed us by name, so it's not out of the question that he chose his victims at random. Yeah, maybe he's just some kind of nut job. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not saying that Sen knows us all personally, but I don't think he would kidnap people at complete random. I don't think anyone would do that. Seriously? Did you not think that anyone could be this malicious? Ether, I know you're in a psych program, I get that. But that doesn't make you an expert on the human psyche. I mean, yeah, there is like forensic psychology that's like different. Like criminal psychology or something, yeah. Some people are 100% batshit crazy, you know. Have you listened to the way Scent speaks? Something's wrong with that guy. That, isn't what I meant. I think I know what Eva was trying to say. Oh, Ink, please stop defending her. So much effort went into capturing us and setting everything up. I mean, there are hand scanners and these Gemini devices and the like. Why would someone go through all this trouble to scare the shit out of random people? Isn't there an easier way to do that? Like I said, some people are real messed up. Even still, people like Scent usually have patterns. He might not know us all personally, but there's probably at least one thing that we all have in common. Maybe we meet a certain set of criteria. Right, I hadn't thought of that. Ink examined each of his fellow contestants one at a time, and as he did, he noticed that they were all glancing around at each other. He let out a weak laugh. We don't really have much in common, do we? I mean, we've got both men and women, students and dropouts, young people and, middle-aged persons. Ink, I'm a senior. I'd appreciate it if you didn't mince words when our lives could be on the line. Please and thank you. Anyway, the point is that I don't see anything in common between the five of us. Something less obvious, perhaps. Do we all live in Belbridge? We all live in Belbridge, right? I know that Eva and I do, at the very least. Yeah, I live in Belbridge, regrettably. I'm afraid I don't live there. I've never heard of Belbridge. Oh, well, damn. So much for that idea. Is that where we are right now? I don't know. I don't remember there being a 4 Elements hotel anywhere in Belbridge, of course. I didn't grow up there, so I wouldn't know. I was born there, and I haven't heard of it, either. What kind of place is it? It's a medium-sized college town. East Coast. East Coast, you say? Something wrong? I live out west. I would have had to come a long way. Let's try not to worry about it too much. There's no way to know where we are for sure. Let's forget it for now, I guess. I barely know any of you, so there's no way I'm going to be able to figure out what ties us all together, if there's anything at all. Whatever his reasons are for capturing us, Scent clearly isn't his real name. Come on, man. Your name is Ink. You're dating a girl named Eva, and you don't think that a name like Scent could be legit? We're not dating. Oh. You guys came out of the same room, so I just assumed. Seemed like you knew each other. So the two of you are complete strangers that just happened to wake up in the same room? Same bed, actually. Okay, you're not making it sound better, Eva. Geez, that must have been awkward. I guess Scent thought it'd be funny. And I've got to hand it to him. It is kinda funny. You're sweating buckets right now, bud. Let me do you both a favor and change the subject. Please. Why don't we get started on this puzzle? We can chat about Scent later. Remember that we've got a time limit. I'd like to add that there's still the possibility that this is just Scent's idea of a joke. There may be no explosive or time limit. Right now we're just taking his word for it. Liza, you've been so quiet I've almost forgot about you. That's because I've been messaging my father instead of sending around chit-chatting. I'm trying to get rescued, not play detective. If you're convinced this whole thing is a joke, then why are you so dead set with getting rescued? I never said that I thought this was a joke, did I? I just said that it was a possibility. Scent has committed a crime in kidnapping us and forcing us to play this game. There's no telling how far he'll go. It's too risky to not take action, even if this is all a big prank. Then why did you even suggest it? Well, I don't want to look like an idiot if this is all fake, obviously. Do you seriously care that much about what other people think of you? Unlike some people, I actually have an image to maintain. A lot of people expect great things from me, you know. Those are pretty big words coming from someone who probably never worked a day in their life. Guys, come on, not this again. Whatever, I'm done talking to this idiot. Liza, you said you messaged your father. Does that make him your contact? I don't know, I guess so. What exactly did you tell him? I told him that my kidnapper wasn't interested in a ransom. Instead, he's forcing me to play some weird game and threatening to kill me. Did you let him know that there are other people who have been abducted as well? No. Oh, well, did you at least tell him that you're in a hotel called the 4 Elements and that you've only got 24 hours to find a way out? No. Then what did you tell him? I told him what I told you. That's it? Yeah, so? It took you 5 whole minutes to type that out? I'm so at texting, okay? Give me a break. You're a teenager. Shouldn't you be an Olympic level texter? Shut up, both of you. Shouldn't we get started on the puzzle? You're wasting a lot of time asking me pointless questions. It's pretty obvious she just wants to change the subject, but she's right. We need to push on. Perhaps we should. There's more about this game I'd like to discuss, but we should get this puzzle out of the way first. 5 pairs of wary eyes turn to the terminal. Let's get to it then. Okay, puzzle time. Turn 7 into 26. 26? We're supposed to make the letter Z using negative space. Oh. Like 26 in terms of like alphabet? Why is Z? It's the 26th letter of the alphabet. It's also one of the few shapes we could make with these limited tiles. Good thinking. It's worth a shot at least. Unfortunately, I'm still unsure of the exact tile arrangement. Give me a moment. Sure. In the meantime, let's see if I can figure out how to make a Z on my own. Okay, so it's not like the actual letters. Z. Okay. I think is this it? There we go. Hey, I was right. Oh, how is that the answer? The number 26 in the clue refers to the letter Z, 26th letter of the alphabet. Turns out you can draw a Z if you get crafty with the tiles. I mean, Beth figured it out, but sure. Pretty sharp, Ink. That was certainly harder than the last puzzle. Congratulations, contestants. That was the correct solution. Before you proceed, I feel like it is my responsibility to issue a warning. The 24-hour time limit, while important, should not be your immediate concern. The explosives I've planted are far from the most dangerous thing in this hotel. I have refrained from throwing anything harmful at you thus far, but I assure you this safety is temporary. There, I've opened the way. Welcome to Exit Corners. I'm looking forward to watching you all struggle. You will struggle. Or you could die. That guy's a real piece of work. Why does he look like he's made of paper mache? People these days are so strange. Paper mache? That's what he reminds you of? You know, that's not really him, right? It's just a computer-generated image he's using to keep us from seeing his real face. Same deal with his voice. It's completely synthetic. Oh, is that so? Buying a rundown motel, rigging all these contraptions, and creating computer-generated images? I'm no expert, but wouldn't these things cost a fortune? That face would be a cinch to make, but as for the rest of it, I see what you're getting at. This isn't within any normal person's price range. If Exit Corners really is the work of a single person, then that person would have to be pretty well off. Ray's remark hit home. A certain redhead soon became the center of everyone's attention. Why are you all staring at me? My father and I are extremely wealthy. Did I get that right? Right, because my family is the only entity in the entire world that has any money. Oh, and that must mean I'm a deranged sociopath who locks herself in a hotel with a bunch of strangers in an attempt to get herself killed. I've got to hand it to you, Ray. Your reasoning is flawless. Sarcasm won't do you any good. I'm not saying you're behind all this. Frankly, I don't think you're smart enough. And to be honest, I don't think it's within one person's power to run this whole game on their own. But you're definitely hiding something. I know you are. You've been acting real suspicious all morning, especially now. What do you mean suspicious? I mean, the most suspicious one is Ether, but let's just let that slide. Don't think I haven't noticed your hand. I have you know my eyes are still in excellent shape. Huh? What's wrong with her hand? Every now and then, she makes peculiar gestures with her right hand. To me, it looks like if she's making some kind of signal. A sign language, perhaps. It's just a nervous tic, that's all. It's normal. The shaking in your voice is telling me otherwise. Spit it out, Liza. There's something you're not telling us. How much more obvious can you make it? I've got nothing to hide. You're just imagining things. You're a terrible liar. I'm about as convinced that you're not hiding anything as I am of you being a slow texter. How is that so hard to believe? It's the truth. I swear on my mother's grave. I believe you. Eva? Leave her alone, you guys. She isn't going to tell us anything, so stop pressing her. You're only making yourself look more suspicious. Even when she's clearly hiding something? Maybe she's hiding something. It isn't necessarily related to exit corners, though, is it? She's lost on privacy, isn't she? It'd be different if you had proof that Liza was up to something, but you don't. You're just looking for someone to blame. I guess so. Damn it, Eva. You're lucky ink turns to mush whenever you open your mouth. Hey now, she's right, you know. We're sort of picking on Liza for no good reason. Whatever, I'm done with you chumps. What a loser. Should we give Ray a moment? No, we ought to follow him. The only thing we're at liberty to do right now is to continue playing exit corners. You know, the more often I hear exit corners, the stranger it sounds. What's it supposed to mean? I wish I could answer that. I wish I could answer anything. Why? Why were we brought here? Who is sent? And what is exit corners? So let's do one more episode. So I don't think anything really happened that last episode. Chapter 3, Distant Contact. Exit Corners. It was the name of the game that Ink and his fellow contestants had no choice but to play. The goal was simple: explore the 4 Elements Hotel and find an exit. The hotel was slated to collapse in 24 hours, killing those still trapped inside. The one claiming to be responsible for their predicament was a figure named Scent. His motives, as well as his true identity, remained a mystery to Ink. According to Scent, many puzzles and dangers awaited the contestants. Ink couldn't fathom why either were necessary. Whatever the reason, Ink knew it would be essential to proceed with caution from here on out. The chamber connected to the lounge was barely large enough for all 5 contestants. If anything, it seemed more like an extension of the previous room. Another monitor. So this door's probably locked too. I guess Sen doesn't excel in the creativity department. Ray stood in front of the screen, already at work solving whatever puzzle their captor had left for them. Hey, want a hand, Ray? I'm close to figuring it out. Don't distract me. I might be able to help you solve it faster, you know. I said don't distract me. Yep, he's still pretty angry. I want to help with the puzzle, but the last thing I want to do is start a fight with this guy. Damn, I shouldn't have been so wishy-washy back there. Ink turned to face the other 3 contestants. Ray, you're behaving like a child. Save your breath, he's not even listening to us anymore. So, what are we supposed to do now? We should still solve the puzzle, right? It's the only way forward. That's right, Eva. Solving the puzzle is our only option. Ray can ignore us all he likes, but we don't need his help with this. Well, let's get started then. No. Excuse me? The puzzle can wait. Let's head back into the lounge. Huh? Why? It's important. Now follow me. What could be more important than the puzzle? I suppose I can spare her a few minutes of my time. You sure about that, Beth? Just a few minutes ago, you had her under pretty intense scrutiny. As did you, if I remember correctly. But that's precisely why I want to hear from her. I'll join you, Beth. Well, if anyone can figure out the puzzle out on their own, it's probably Ray. Giving him some space might not be a bad idea. You two go on ahead. I'll be there in a second. Beth and Eva exchange a nod before leaving. Hey, Ray? What? Can you come get us when you solve the puzzle? Or when you get stuck? Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, Ray's a pretty good guy. Thanks. Leaving Ray alone with the puzzle, Ink doubled back into the lounge. Alright, I'm here. Good. You've all been given one of these, right? Oh, I had almost forgotten about my Gemini, and Sean for that matter. Yeah, I've got one. Well, what are you waiting for? Send your contact a message asking for help. If we can get our contacts to look for us, we might be able to get out of here without having to play this stupid game. Right. Eva? Ink followed her example and reached for his Gemini. Why were we even given these? Are they here to throw us off, or? It certainly is strange. Why hold us captive if we can just call for help? Who cares? The more important thing is that we have these phones. There's no point in not using them. I suppose you're right. Even so... You know how to use one of these, right, Beth? I do, but I'm never slow at selecting the right letters. I could type a few messages out for you if you like. You don't need to do that, Ether. I hate to waste your time. Oh, don't you worry about that. It won't take long. If you insist, I suppose there's no harm in trying. Ether knelt down next to Beth, and they began to compose a message for Beth's contact. The whispers soon made way for the rapid tapping of screens. Now would be a good idea to message Sean again. Sean, please tell me you're there. Yo, it's your boy Sean. What's up? You back on campus yet? Sean, listen. What I'm about to tell you probably won't make any sense, but I need you to pay attention. I think I'm in serious danger. Sounds like someone had a bad morning. Did you ever run in with that girl's dad? Worse than that, I'm afraid. You know the story where a psycho kidnaps a bunch of people and forces them to play a game? Isn't every story like that these days? Which one are you referring to? Point is, I've been kidnapped and I'm trapped in a hotel. I've got 24 hours to make it out of this here, or I'm gonna die. You high, bud? This isn't a joke, Sean. You're my contact, and Sent said I'll need your help to get us out of here. What the fuck are you going on about? I understand none of that. I'll explain later. Can you just promise me you'll do what I ask? Yeah, I guess. You need to send some help over to a hotel called the Four Elements. Police, fire crew, anything. I don't even know where that is. Is that in Belbridge? I'm not sure. Look that up for me? I can do that. I'm not on my computer right now, Bill. What about your actual phone? Left it in my room, sods. I thought you were busy shitposting. I have many exciting hobbies, such as mooching free French from bookstore guy. But I can head back to my room and starve if that's what you want. I can tell you still don't believe me. But if you ever consider yourself my friend, then please help me out. Alright, buddy, I'm on it. I'll message you when I find the address of this Four Elements place. Thanks, that would be a huge help. Alright, hang in there. Alright, good news everyone. My friend Sean is going to look up our location, then send help. That's great. Do you think it'll take him long? He should get back to me shortly. He's a bit of a joker sometimes, but he's not one to dawdle when something important is on the line. There was a brief lull. It was only then that Ink had noticed Beth's demeanor. Her skin had turned a pasty white color, and her once excellent posture had regressed into a slouch. What's the matter, Beth? Beth's contact hasn't responded yet. She sent him a message, but there hasn't been a reply. Don't worry, Beth. Your contact probably isn't near their Gemini right now. Either that, or they haven't received it yet, right? He simply doesn't want to talk to me. I'm not expecting a reply. If you don't mind me asking, who is your contact, Beth? Ink, I'm not sure that's something she wants to talk about right now. It's fine, Ether. I mean, you told Ether, why not just tell everyone else? I think it would be best if we didn't keep any secrets. My contact is named Earl. He's my son. Oh, I had no idea. Your own son doesn't even want to talk to you? Yeesh. We haven't spoken for quite some time, and I'm afraid the last time we spoke, we didn't exactly end it on a positive note. It must be some cruel joke that Sent chose him as my contact. I don't suppose we'll be getting any help from him then. That's alright. My father should be able to get us rescued. I take it you've made some progress? I've told him the name of the hotel. Once he determines my exact location, he'll be sending some of my personal escorts to extract me. Personal escorts. So they're like your bodyguards. Something like that. They're the best of the best. I don't know. I say they kind of suck if they let you get kidnapped. They weren't with me when I was kidnapped. Had they been there, things would have been different. Hold on, did you say that you remember the moment you were taken? Well, sort of. Where were you when you were abducted? Do you remember your assailant's face? Listen, I don't remember all that well, and I didn't, see anything. There's no point in asking me anything about it. Whoa, that isn't very helpful, or convincing. You know what? I'll pester her about this later. Maybe she'll talk if we're alone. Whatever. Hey, Ether? What is it? Isn't your contact your father? Yeah. Same as me then. Yeah. Same as you. Did you ask your dad to send some help too, Ether? I don't think he'll be much help to us. I'm sorry. Ether looked away, flustered. Ink hadn't a clue what the deal with her father was, but felt genuinely sorry for having brought it up. Don't worry about it then. If it's any consolation, my dad wouldn't be of any help either. The door behind Ink snapped open. Ray had returned. Oh, Ray. Have you solved the puzzle already? Not really, no. I'm just taking a small break. My hands are starting to cramp up, so I thought I'd come sit down. His hands are cramping up? His hands are cramping up? What? Didn't you say that you were close to figuring it out? Well, my first solution fell through, and my other method is taking me a while. Besides, if I rest for a bit, I might be able to solve it the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way? Funny, I was under the impression that programmers were good at problem solving. I'd like to see you do better. A small little girl like you doesn't even have a tenth of my talent. And I'm thankful for that. The only talent you seem to have is giving up. Ugh, I'm not giving up. I'm just... Stop. Beth, for the second time today, had brought their argument to a halt with one time shout. She had a powerful voice. This is ridiculous. Can you just speak to each other without getting into a fight? Maybe we ought to give Ray his break and get started on the puzzle ourselves. What do you say to that, Liza? Fine. We've all messaged our contacts, so we can go. I'd like to help with the puzzle too. Now that's what I like to hear. Let's hop to it. Ink, do you think you can keep Ray company while he and Liza let off some steam? I can do that, I guess. Thank you. See if you can get him to message his contact while you're at it. Sure. Beth and the other girls made their way to into the next room. Now alone with Ray, Ink struggled to find a suitable conversation starter. So, how was the puzzle? This one's tougher than the other two. You think Sant made this one unbeatable? No, Sant might be completely nuts, but I don't think he'd do something like that. We've been told multiple times that we're playing a game, and it's not a game if you can't win. This puzzle's different from the others, that's all. It's less of a tile thing and more of a button thing. Not as detailed a description as I have liked, but okay. But you know, out of all the weird ass things that happened to me this morning, these puzzles have got to be the most confusing, I mean. Why are they even here? Who the hell would have something to gain from this? I've been wondering that myself. Maybe Sen is one of those Darwinist freaks. Darwinist? You mean like natural selection? Yeah. Maybe Sen is convinced that if we can't solve these puzzles, then we're not fit to remain in the gene pool. That's a pretty messed up theory. Still, I guess it makes more sense than most of what I've heard today. Hey Ray? Can I ask you something? Yeah, what is it? Yeah, who is your contact? Who is your contact? The person on the other end of your Gemini. Why? What's it to you? I'm just curious, that's all. And you never know, it might be important. Well, too bad. You aren't going to tell me? Nope. If Liza's allowed to keep her secrets, then so am I. I can't really argue with that, I guess. We wouldn't be able to get any help from them anyway. As far as you're concerned, I have no contact. Sure. I never want you to bring this up again, do you understand? Okay, sorry I asked. Anyway, it's been a minute or two. I want to give the others some help with the puzzle. Fine. My hand eased up a bit, so I'm ready to get back into it. It was a pretty flimsy excuse, but Ink was happy that Ray seemed to have calmed down a little. He marched over to the door, but Ray cut ahead of him and made it through first. Ether and Beth huddled around the monitor in quiet contemplation. Liza was instead off to the side, focused on her Gemini. Any luck, ladies? No, we haven't been able to figure it out yet. I haven't had a look yet. I've still got to fill my father in on some details. Let me take a crack at it then. Okay, puzzle time. Sort by color. Ink, I've got an idea that might be worth trying. I'm all ears, Beth. I think we're supposed to find expressions involving the colors illustrated. Oh, what do you mean by that? If we put a house icon underneath the green box, will we get a greenhouse? Oh, okay. Similarly, if we put the tape icon under the red box, we would get red tape. I hadn't thought of that. It's a bit odd, but we don't really have any other leads, so I guess this is worth a shot. Nice work, Beth. Why, thank you. If you don't mind me asking, how did you manage to come up with that? I'm afraid I was daydreaming. A greenhouse crossed my mind, and then it hit me. The other one came shortly after. You were daydreaming about a greenhouse? Is that so strange? What do you daydream of, pray tell? You know, guy stuff. Girls, money, books. Books? Okay, take your pick. So, red tape, greenhouse, blue, I don't know, white, Blue mail? Blue printer? Oh, blueprint. White House. Black tape, blackmail. I think that's it. Okay, there we go. Wait, how is that the solution? They're all expressions, from left to right. We've got red tape, greenhouse, blueprint, White House, and blackmail. Thanks for the help, Beth. I don't think I have been able to solve it without you. Oh, I only half solved it, dear. Man, that puzzle was stupid. Yeah. Oh yeah? I think you're just angry that you couldn't figure it out. You want to talk. You just stood there staring at your Gemini the entire time. Oh, please. I just got us all rescued. Thank you very much. Oh, is your father sending help? Yeah. I filled him in on pretty much everything that's happened so far. As soon as he finds the location of this hotel, he'll be sending his best men after us. That's awesome news, Liza. My contact Sean is also searching for the address, so if he finds it before your father does... A familiar sound echoed throughout the tiny chamber. Ink peeked at his Gemini's screen, but saw no notifications. That's mine. Earl, he got back to me. That's awesome, Beth. It looks like your son wants to talk to you after all. Ether, would you mind helping me compose the message once again? Oh, I still can't believe it. No problem, Beth. Bring your Gemini over here. I'm happy for her, you know? Are you talking to me? I think it's great that even after all this time of not speaking to one another, Beth's son is still willing to help her out in a time of need. Yeah, that's really magical. I'm on the verge of tears. Sorry for trying to be positive. Oh, that one's me. Okay, Sean, let's see if you found anything out. Hey, Ink. What took you so long? You found the address, right? About that, Ink, I've got some good news and some bad news. Real original. Anyway, spill. The good news is that the address I found for the Four Elements Hotel points to downtown Bellbridge. So I'm in Bellbridge after all. Thanks for letting me know. But of course there's the bad news. What is it? The Four Elements Hotel no longer exists. What? That was a typo, right? It closed down around 20 years ago and was subsequently demolished. That's why it took me so long to find any information about it. Are you sure you're in the right hotel? There's got to be another hotel named the Four Elements. That's all there is to it. The next closest one is way out of the country. There's no way you would have made it there from Bellbridge in a day. Ink, are you there? Hello? Alright. That was chapter 3 of Exit Corners. Alright, looks like we're slowly figuring things out. I'm still really suspicious of pretty much everyone. Yeah. Alright, so if you guys want to see the next episode, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye, take care.